Final big three game of the week. It is the boys from Rutgers traveling to Nebraska, who are 7-point favorites, 3 p.m. on FS1. Guys, Rutgers got out of Dodge last weekend against Washington. It's a Washington team that is favored at home against Michigan, by the way. We'll talk about that in just a second. Rutgers is doing it with defense. They're doing it on the ground. And Athan Kaliakmanis has been better than even I hoped that he would be. He's certainly taken that step forward. He offers enough of a passing element that I think moving on from Gavin Wimsatt ended up working out for Rutgers. Still, though, this is a Nebraska defense that's going to test Rutgers in both phases of the offensive game. And Trey, your concern maybe about Dylan Raiola being able to pick apart this Rutgers secondary.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, Rutgers hasn't had the best outcomes on. I think that all in all, Nebraska just has a lot of the keys that I look for on who to pick in this one. I'm going to take Nebraska to cover the 7 points. You can boo me all you want. I'll spoil y'all's picks. You can thank me for saving your graphic on this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Nebraska has a better quarterback in Dylan Raiola, the better defense, in my opinion. It's maybe up for debate at this point in the year, but I think better defense at home. I think I lean Nebraska to get it done. Rutgers hasn't been the sexiest 4-0 start that we've ever seen. They only had a 3.3% chance in post-game win expectancy last week, but it is a good old nerd fight. I will say that. My two favorite stats bros, Parker Gilliam and Bill Connolly with the S&P Plus, they completely disagree on who's going to win this game. Parker has Rutgers by about 2.5. Bill C has Nebraska by 6.5. So play it on the field. Don't play it on paper, but I'm going to lean with Bill C's model and go with Nebraska.
Yeah, Trey, kind of to your point about, Rutgers not necessarily having the best outcomes. I don't know if you guys saw that. Did we really get beat that bad graphic? That's one of my favorites every single week, just to kind of see the disparity between the two teams and how they played in their net efficiency. Rutgers was the worst by far last week in their win over Washington. So not exactly, a fantastic one. The vibes are high over for Rutgers, and I am going to take them to cover this game, though I do think Nebraska should win. This is kind of I don't think Rutgers is quite as good as 4-0. I do like the team. I do think they're doing a lot of things right, and you do have to give them some credit for finding ways to win football games, right? It's not always about just the efficiency or how good it looks. Sometimes it is just getting it done. But I do think overall this Nebraska team is better, and I think they kind of need it more at this point. They had the loss to Illinois, kind of a massive emotional letdown. Then they came out last week and didn't score anything in that first half against Purdue. And, they did pull away in the fourth quarter, but really just not a very impressive game last week against Purdue. I think that they got to get some stuff right before they go and play Ohio State. I think they're going to come out here somewhat motivated and somewhat desperate, but I do think Rutgers can kind of slow this thing down, keep this thing on the ground, maybe force a couple of mistakes and keep it close. Nebraska is going to win the football game, but I think Rutgers is going to find a way to, kind of cover that 7, maybe lose by 6 or something like that.
Ooh, I'll say not so fast, my friend. I'm not sold that Rutgers doesn't win this game on the road. Now, do I think that there's some juggernaut at 4-0? Of course not. But when I look at what Rutgers does well, I wonder if they can take that on the road and get a win against a Nebraska team that has started to look a little human, a little Matt Rule-esque. After all, he's a great program builder, but gosh darn it, guys, in close games, Matt Rule, as of late, does not win the football game. We have seen that time and time again. So what I look at in this game are two items. Number one, the Huskers passing attack versus that Rutgers secondary. Rutgers is 36th pass defense overall. Nebraska has what is statistically an average passing offense at 44th. Now, on the ground, Rutgers has taken all the headlines by what they do with Kyle Monagai, who's one of the top 5 rushers in the country. The team is the top 12 rushing unit overall, 5.3 or 5.4, in attempt, 237 yards on the ground per game. For the Huskers, though, they've done a great job at stopping the run. Their front 7 is 15th overall in rush defense, and they're allowing less than 3 yards a carry. Something's got to give there. So far, though, betting against Kyle Monagai has not been the best financial advice. So I'm going to take Rutgers to keep this close. I would love to say that they're going to win this one outright. I won't be shocked if they do. I'm going to take, I guess, Nebraska to win this game by a field goal, but Rutgers to cover. I don't think that this is a step back for Rutgers whatsoever. You go on the road, you prove yourself in a difficult environment. We keep rolling. I think 9 wins maybe is on the horizon for this Scarlet Knights team.
Gracious, how about that?